Hey folks, welcome back to Good Enough Customs. So, sorry for the absence. I know I tend to do this about once a year. Had a pretty rough go over the last couple months here. I can't remember the last time I actually uploaded a video. It's probably close to 2 months now. Whenever we were doing this, we were working on Steve, working on this guy. And if you might remember, I was working on a patch for this little area right here. And I put it directly in the palm of my hand. You can kind of see right there where it went in. I came out here a while back, a couple weeks ago, and decided to just make a piece that goes here and then just capture it this way. Figure that'll work out okay. But quick little update on everything that's been going on at the Good Enough Customs shop. So, you know, as I mentioned, injured my hand. Went, got stitches, and yeah, it's healed up just fine. It's a little sore still, which is, you know, kind of odd, I guess. Maybe not. I don't know. Still a little sore, but it's working fine. But when I went to the doctor and got stitches, they were nice enough to give me the flu as well. So had the flu. Yay, awesome. And then while I had the flu, I was home from work a couple days, just, you know, resting up, and noticed a knot come up on Archer's leg. If y'all guys remember Archer, he's the big dumb dog that really likes barking at Big John. Noticed a knot come up on his leg, and I was like, did he hurt himself? What's going on? And it almost doubled the next day. And I was like, that's not good. So ended up taking him to the vet. Come to find out, Archer has bone cancer, and it's very advanced. So going over treatment options with the vet, he was just like, look, we could take his leg and give him about 6 months. I was like, dude, he's like 7.5 years old. He's a big dog. He's old. He's gonna have a hell of a time trying to get up. It's like, what's our other options? He goes, really, this far along, there's no other options, you know, other than just kind of keep him comfortable. Okay, how long do you think he's got? He's just like 2, maybe 3 months if you're lucky. Wow. Okay, so shit got real fast. So anyways, that was kind of what we ended up doing, was just keeping Archer comfortable and making sure that he wasn't or helping him with his pain as much as possible. There was a lot of pain management going on there. He made it almost a month and a half. We had to put him down about 2 weeks ago. That little knot that started off about yay big grew to the size of a softball. It got to where he couldn't hardly put his foot on the ground. It was bad. So yeah, it was rough. You know, losing a dog. Yeah, it's just a dog, but he's a part of the family. He'd been here, you know, he's 7.5 years old. Got him when he was 6 weeks old. And you know, but we still got Crockett. Ain't that right, Crockett? Yeah, Crockett's doing okay. He had a rough couple days trying to figure out where his brother went. But yeah, it's been a little difficult, you know. And between that, you know, trying to spend some good quality time with Archer, because we knew the end was coming, work and all that stuff, I haven't had the gumption to get out here and do a damn thing on this truck. So Steve is still pretty much in the same condition you saw him last time. Yeah, it sucks. It's been a rough couple months, but I did go and pull Big John around, as you saw just a few minutes ago. Pull him around. I've got my pieces and parts in to fix, what were we fixing? Transcooler. I got some adapters to adapt the transcooler lines to the radiator. Apparently I got a lower radiator hose that's dripping, so I gotta fix that. And then I also got the thermal switch for, man, that wind decided to kick up all of a sudden. I got the thermal switch for the fans. So got pieces and parts for this. There's a couple other little things I need to do to it and wash it. This thing's filthy. The battery's dead because it hadn't been started in probably 3 or 4 months. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to do today, is focus on Big John, try to get him up and running, because he's the only good running, driving truck I have in the fleet right now that I'm willing to take to car shows and cruise ins and all that stuff until Steve gets done. Now, sidebar, and I'll try to make this quick. So as y'all know, I think maybe last video before that, I can't remember, Jackson had bought a motorcycle, and you know, I made the mistake of riding it and going, damn it. I used to ride years ago. I sold my bike after Jackson was born because I was like, newborn, no time to ride. So I sold my bike like 18 years ago. I always figured I would have, you know, once I got older, Jackson got older, you know, maybe, hey, we can go ride together. I was all for that. But then Jackson went and sold his bike and bought this piece of crap. Yeah. I told him, hey, motorcycle's cool, man. Stay away from the crotch rockets. They make you do bad things. And you're not experienced enough as a rider, and you're not mature enough as a person to get out and responsibly ride a crotch rocket. Well, he sold his perfectly running, you know, piece of crap bike and bought this not really running, equally bad piece of crap, actually a horrible piece of crap bike. So this guy, I don't know, what is it, a 2000 Suzuki Katana 750, something like that. It doesn't run right, or for very long. It only runs for little blips. So while he was doing that, I've been looking pretty much since I rode his bike. I've been like, I'm gonna buy one. So I had my heart set on like an Indian. I was really liking the Scout 60 bobbers, cool bikes, and I finally got to go sit on one, and I felt like a bear sitting on a tricycle. Definitely too small of a bike for my frame. So I shifted and I was like, ooh, Indian Chiefs, those are nice. Yeah, they're also $15,000. So I was like, can't do that. I was like, yeah, I'm not spending that kind of money on a freaking motorcycle. So so I've been hunting and looking, and finally kind of was looking at the Hondas, because I'm not a brand loyal person. I'm not like, it's Harley or nothing, brother. No offense to anybody that is like that, but yeah, I don't care, you know. And frankly, any Harley I've ever sat on, I've never enjoyed riding a Harley. They aren't comfortable to me. I don't really care for them. I've ridden a couple, and just never really, it was not my cup of tea. So I ended up finding this guy, which I absolutely love. So this is a 2020 Honda Fury. It's a 1300 cc, and their Fury line is it's got a, I forget the numbers on it, but it's got a rake to it. You know, the front's kicked out a little bit. It's a little taller in the neck. And yeah, these are weird bikes as far as trying to find a used one. So if you're if you're ever looking for specifically a Honda Fury, just go ahead and know that it really don't matter the mileage on them. They're between $4,000 and $6,000. I mean, I've seen them with 20,000 miles on them for $6,000. I've seen them, well, my bike has 500 miles on it. I paid $6,000 for it. It still got the nubs on the tires from where it was new. So so I feel like I got a pretty good deal. I was actually looking at a brand new one, which was like twice that. It was almost $12,000 for a brand spanking new one. But I feel as though I bought a 5-year-old brand new bike for half the price. So I'm pretty thrilled. I've only ridden it once up and down the road a couple times, you know, but I'm still waiting on the title to come in so I can actually get it out on the road and ride it. So so maybe some more content coming on the bike side of it. But don't worry, I'm not one of those you know, brother type people where I'm going to start wearing the bandanas and the vests and the gloves and the chain linking on my wallet and, you know, the stereotypical stuff, you know, buckles on your boots and chaps, and yeah, I don't get into all that stuff. So assless chaps though, maybe. Totally kidding on that. But anyways, let me get some stuff ready to go for Big John. Find all my pieces and parts that I bought a while back. They're kind of hidden and scattered somewhere in this mess of a shop. See if I can get those pieces together, and we'll get cracking on Big John. All right, so here we are. Disregard, neighbors are mowing their yard. But so I went and I picked up this guy. I say went, I ordered off Amazon the El Buco truck parts. I don't know, 18-piece brass bushing fittings assortment kit. Warning, it's recyclable and it has 0 to 5 children in it. So it's a pretty good little set. So I was monkeying around with this off camera, and the fittings on the radiator down here, where this guy would tie into, they don't appear to be standard. They're metric. What fun. So I'm not going to order more parts for it. I just went ahead and did well, the good enough way, just, you know, make it work. So all I did was cut a small length of hose and just clamp it on. Same thing down below. I was able to use a shorter piece of hose down there, but just clamped it on. That should be fine. I mean, it's not like it's crazy high pressure or anything like that. So got my trans cooler hooked up. Maybe I'll order some metric to standard adapters. Maybe not. Time will tell. So we're just gonna ignore that, move on to something else. So I do have my new thermal switch here. Ordered it. I've had it for a minute. It's been sitting in the shop. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this pipe plug out and I'm gonna plumb him in right here. And that's gonna be my ground trigger for the solenoid. So I'll probably just nip a little hole in this guy, feed my ground wire back through my little, you know, cable dressing stuff back over here, and then just kind of figure out a way to route it back over here to where my solenoid's located. So I've got this guy temporarily wired up from last time around. So this is my ground trigger. This white wire should be a switched hot. So all I did with it was I had it pulled the AC plug out and used it as a switched hot, and had a constant ground. So basically just kind of flipped the way the solenoid's wanting to work. So whenever I energize that wire, the white wire, then it kicked the solenoid on, which then turned the fans on. So we're gonna kind of flip that. We're gonna put this guy to where when the key's on, that wire has constant power, but now my ground's gonna be interrupted over here with my little thermal switch until it heats up. And once it heats up, that thermal switch will close. That'll give me my ground. That'll kick the fans on. I think it's 180. I think it's 180 degrees. I can't remember what the temperature is on this guy. I got the box inside. Up 185. Yeah, 185 is the temperature on it. So fans will kick on 185 degrees, and they'll run until it gets back down to, I think 170 is the shut off side of it. So once it's 170, it'll open up that ground and it'll shut it back off. So yeah, let me go grab freaking Allen wrench key thing so we can get that guy pulled out, and we'll get this new one in here, and we'll get the electrical kind of plumbed up and ready to go. So be right back. Another thing that I was going to let y'all guys know about is well, my recording schedule. You know, I've been trying to do weekly for a long time, and well, sometimes it just doesn't pan out. Like here recently, it has not panned out at all. And as I get busier with my work and doing other things, it's just kind of gotten to that point where there's no way that I can physically keep up with doing a video every week. Basically what it's doing is I'm working pretty much 7 days straight for weeks and weeks at a time, and it's just not something I can continue doing. It's absolutely wearing me out. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to be a little inconsistent for a little bit as far as when videos come out, until I kind of get a rhythm going. Well, that's doing the exact opposite of what I wanted it to do. But until I get a good rhythm going, I think I'm going to end up being a little inconsistent on video uploads. You know, as much as I would love to get one out a week, it's just, like I said, I physically can't. Just staying exhausted all the time, it's impacting my work, you know, where I actually make money. And it's just, it's affecting the quality of the videos, if that makes sense, because I'm kind of rushed, so I'm having to hurry up and get stuff done. You know, I don't really finish projects, you know, quickly because it's, you know, it's a constant thing. So I think I'm going to shift the way the channel is kind of running, being I will do a video probably at first will probably just be like maybe once a month, and I would like to get to where I could do once every couple weeks. I think that would be good, but hopefully I can get the this stuff going where I'm hitting this, you know, every couple weeks I'm hitting it and I'm getting a good video out, and maybe even being able to get a couple videos out and stay a little bit ahead, because as of right now I'm always behind. So I'm always, the video y'all guys see is always just finished up the day before it gets released. It's very rare that I get a video out well ahead of time. So so I think that's the way I'm going to end up having to go with it, just because, like I said, I can't keep going at the rate I'm going. It's extremely exhausting, and I don't know how many of y'all have YouTube channels as well. I'm sure some of you do, but you know, there's a fair amount of work that goes into doing this stuff, and doing it week in, week out, and just not having a ton of time for other activities. You know, other activities being time with family, doing things, you know, other than working on vehicles all the time. You know, just being able to take a day and do absolutely nothing. I've had quite a few of those over the last couple months, and my God, it is amazing. So so yeah, so the video schedule is probably going to slow down a little bit. You know, I hate it, but I just, sorry guys, I have to. For my own well-being, I have to do it. So so that's kind of what the idea is right now. We'll slow it down a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to shoot for at least one a month, maybe try to squeeze in every couple of weeks, get one out. And if I get enough of a backlog, or, you know, get far enough ahead, which would be great, I get far enough ahead, maybe I can get back to where I'm releasing one a week. You know, but I'd have to have quite a few of them, you know, quote unquote, in the can, ready to go, before I could do that. But yeah, I know it sucks, you know, me being gone for a couple months and then come back being like, yeah, so I'm not going to be recording quite as much as I used to. It's purely for my own physical well-being and mental well-being, because, you know, I think I probably only had total time off of not doing something YouTube related or work related. I probably only had a few weekends last year. As I know I took about 6 weeks off last year as well. And I don't want to keep doing that, because it's hard to come back from it. Whenever you know, I don't know how familiar y'all guys are with how YouTube's algorithm works, but you know, once you kind of fall off the algorithm, it takes a hell of a lot to get back into it and start, you know, gaining subscribers and getting views again and all that fun stuff. And I'm not saying that I'm, you know, some big wig YouTuber. I mean, crap, I've got 2,000 subscribers, whatever. The problem is to make it to where it kind of pays for some of the projects, kind of pays for some of the parts, rather than every single dime of it coming out of my own pocket. To make it to where it does that, it takes a lot. I think right now, up until I stopped, I was averaging about 30 bucks a month on YouTube revenue, which ain't nothing. I think now I'm back down to like 20 bucks a month, just because I'm not putting new stuff out there. They're not promoting the channel out as much as possible. So that's where it's really important for you guys that are watching, to, you know, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I know I say it at the end of every video, but it really is important on that, because that does tell YouTube that, hey, people are watching. Let's promote this channel out a little bit better. So anyhow, enough of that. So got that cable routed. Now I got to track down a constant, or a switched hot, so I can tie that white cable into the switched hot, and we can pull that plug out, put in that new thermostat, and move along from there. So let me go grab. I got to grab a couple more tools, and then we'll get back at it. All right, let's get this pipe plug out. If I had to guess, I'm going to get a little bit of antifreeze. Kind of going everywhere, so we're going to make this kind of quickish. Let's get a little bit of Teflon tape. Yeah, it's already puddling out, so let's we'll snug her back down real quick. Minimize the amount of antifreeze that I lose. I can't remember on brass. Do you do thread seal on brass to brass, or is it frowned upon? I don't remember. I do not recall, but that's okay. We'll do it anyways. What's it gonna hurt? I got my pipe tape on there. Thread sealant, whatever you want to call it. We'll try and get this done pretty quick. Glug, glug. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to even see what size this stupid thing was. Let's see, I got 7/8 sitting right here. Oh my goodness. Look at the draw on that one. Alright, so my thermal switch is in. Got my ground trigger, so I have to put a little spade on it to be able to catch that. I guess I probably ought to get a rag, clean up this antifreeze that kind of bubbled out, and start putting this part back together. So let me get on that and I'll be right back. Alright, so now I've got my ground wire hooked up to the thermal switch. So I hook up my switch to hot. No fan. I do have my ignition on, by the way. But I come over here and I ground this guy out. That should drop right off of the trigger hot. Ignition is on, so nothing's going now. But if I ground this, that kicks the fans on. All right, cool. She's working. Now all I gotta do is find me a triggered hot and wire that guy up, and we'll be in good shape. So I was able to find a switched hot over here in this bundle from the old TBI stuff. So I'm routing a wire over to that now. So I can get that tied in and be ready to go there. So once we get that done, let this guy start and get up the temperature. And once I get this guy up the temperature, then we move on to working on the timing and get that guy figured out. All right, wiring's done-ish. Only thing left to do is just kind of clean it up a little bit. Let's fire this thing up. All right, so now she's running. Got to give it a little bit of time to warm up, get some heat in the motor, and make sure that this guy opens and does what it's supposed to do. So I'll just shut this off for a few minutes, and we'll come back, and once it's getting closer, it's time for that fan to kick on. Make sure she's working right. All right, so the fan's finally kicked on. I was getting a little nervous there. They didn't kick on until 195. Maybe that's because it's up here in the intake. I'm not sure, but it took a good long while for it to get up to temperature. But it got up to 195, and it dropped pretty quick. It's dropping pretty fast, kicking it on back. So not too bad. All right, well, that's done, and that's good. So I guess I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna hook my vacuum gauge up, get the distributor turned a little loose, and since this guy's giving me fits and tuning with just using a timing light, we're just gonna tune it with vacuum. So I'm just going to use one of my vacuum ports on the front of my carburetor here. We're going to use the one over here on the right because that's constant vacuum. The one on the left is only whenever the throttle's on. So, so we're going to use our constant vacuum, and we're going to pull a vacuum number. We'll advance it until we see it go to peak, and then we're going to pull it back a couple degrees after it goes to peak, and that should be kind of ideal with what the truck wants. Yeah, hopefully. So add a little bit more coolant to this guy, button up the radiator, and we should be in pretty good shape. All right, I'll be right back. Starting out, we are at, we'll call that 19 and a half inches of vacuum, inches of mercury, whatever you want to call it. Let me get this distributor broke loose. Looks like 20 degrees is all I'm going to get, or 20 inches of mercury is all I'm going to get. So we'll pull it back just a couple pounds, or a couple degrees, and that should get us pretty close where it wants to live. All right, well, adjusted the timing. Going with the vacuum gauge, and that put me so right at 20. It was a little past 20 whenever I was adjusting on it. So I put it right on 20 inches of mercury. Grab my timing light and check what the timing was showing. And it's sitting right about 9 degrees. So that kind of tracks. So let me shut this thing off. All right, so that kind of tracks. You know, 8 to 10 degrees, I would imagine, initial. It seemed to like that. So, yeah, that's what we're going to go with. Can't see what I'm doing down here. But yeah, that's what we're going to go with. 8 to 10 degrees of initial timing. And I'm guessing the total time will probably be somewhere in the 30s, low 30s. So 30, 32, somewhere in that neighborhood. But this truck don't spend a whole lot of time at wide open, so it's expensive to run this truck at wide open. So so yeah, we'll take her out for a tester up here in just a few and see how she do. I got to get these cables kind of cleaned up and make it look, you know, halfway decent. So I'll do all that, and we'll take it out for a little ride here in a few minutes. All right, so something I noticed while I was under here, of course, got rid of the factory radiator, shroud, all that fun stuff. So I was watching, and my upper hose was wanting to basically just, you know, as it got hot, it just came down. It was almost kinked. So I just grabbed a little piece of flat steel, bent a little 90 on it here, put a bolt in, existing hole, ran it through. I curled the back end of this guy up a little bit to give this guy something to sit on. Insulated it with another piece of hose. This is all temporary. Gave it a zip tie just to make sure that she don't move. So now that guy can heat up and it's not going to fall down, because before, when it was hot, it was that angle is about like that, where this thing was just hanging way down here. So bring her up a little bit and get it secured. Temporary setup, temporary to permanent, maybe. But temporary setup. So we'll see how this works. Hopefully this works out pretty good. And I can come up with something a little bit better. I do want to make like a cowl cover or something to go over this. You know, and I can incorporate a holder for the hose on that as well. So yeah, did all that. Everything's kind of buttoned up, zip tied up, cleaned up. So she's about ready to go out for a little ride. This guy is filthy. I mean, super filthy. So rather than wash it here at the house, I'll probably just take it to the car wash, mainly because it doesn't matter. And it's so much truck, and I don't want to have to drag out all my crap. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a little ride out to the car wash. I'll give this guy a little spray down, clean it up a little bit, and we'll see how she do with the new cooling system and with the timing that's now been changed. So we'll see how all that works. Well, we're out and about. I ended up stopping at the car wash this thing up because she was filthy. So I got her washed up, and while I was doing that, I ended up tearing up one of my wipers, so or wiper blades. So I had to put new wiper blades on it. And yeah, it's running pretty good. I mean, running better than it was. Hard acceleration, yeah, it still pings. I don't know. Maybe this thing just needs a little bit higher octane. A little leery about doing that with the you know, 8, 9, 10, 11 mile a gallon type thing going on there. But as long as I keep my foot out of it, she seems pretty happy. So yeah, I guess that would be a success. The fans kicked on like they should when I was out riding earlier. So fans kicked on, thermostat, it got up to like 190 and it come back down. Did just like it's supposed to. So new radiator's working out good. Fans appear to be doing pretty good. The relay's working as it should, and truck's running pretty good. So I guess with that, we're gonna call this one done. I'm not sure what we're gonna get into next time. Probably working on Steve again, getting back into that. So that's probably what we're going to work on next time. But yeah, Big John back in action. I still got to do a little cleaning up on the inside. It's a little dirty in here, but for the most part, Big John's ready to rock. So anyhow, I guess that'll wrap it up. So y'all guys, be sure hit the like button if you liked it. Hit the subscribe button if you made it this far. You might as well. And check back in with me next time. And let's see, what else we got? Oh yeah, just remember folks, it ain't gotta be perfect, just good enough. And Big John's just good enough. So y'all take it easy. We'll see y'all next time. All right, a little bonus footage. What? Yeah. Bonus footage. We're gonna fire up Little John. This truck hadn't been started since Christmas. We'll get a little help from Mr. Brake Clean. How about that? Put a little brake clean on this guy, get him to kick off. Yep. Not a whole lot left. Let's see what we got. Probably too much. You know, it's really a shame this motor is just tired as it is, but it sounds really good. Except for that wonderful exhaust leak popping out of the header. God, I love the way this truck sounds. Oh, I gotta get little John back on the road. But yeah, figure it's been sitting here since Christmas. Hasn't been started. Figure let her start, let it run for a little bit, get some heat in the motor. I'll shut it back down, pull the battery, and put it back on the trickle charge till I'm ready to move it somewhere else. So anyhow, a little bit of bonus footage for y'all. So y'all guys take it easy. Just remember, folks, ain't gotta be perfect, just good enough. We'll see y'all next time.